It's your boy Sam back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and talking about the content that is coming tomorrow in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Remember, all of these cards are going to be available for free through the agendas, so don't think, oh, Ty, but I'm going to have to spend a bunch of money to get the cards, because that is not how this drop is going to work. Now, cards coming tomorrow: Chris Paul, John Collins, Dillon Brooks, as well as Sapphire, Marcus Smart, and Jordan Poole. So, the rubies: Chris Paul, John Collins, Dillon Brooks. Am I really high on any of them? I mean, Chris Paul, I think, is going to be an absolute garbage man, okay? So don't think, oh, Chris Paul is going to be decent. That card is going to stink. Now, with Dillon Brooks, John Collins, as well as the Sapphires, we do have some guys that I think are going to be decent. Now, let's start with John Collins, okay? John Collins in my team, when was the last time we saw a good John Collins card? It's been a while, okay? The John Collins cards normally in my team aren't great, but this year, I mean, how many power forwards do we have in my team as far as stretch bigs that are decent? Not too many. So you're giving us another ruby as far as a stretch big? I'll take it. Do I expect him to be as good as Jabari Smith Jr. if your no money spent and grinded him out? Probably not, okay? But that's a lot of just credit to Jabari Smith Jr. more than John Collins doesn't get credit for. Again, I think Jabari Smith Jr. is just absolutely elite. And I would say that to anybody. Like, I am really high on Jabari Smith Jr. I think he is one of the best, power forwards in the entire game. Like, I'm that high on him in general. So, I think John Collins, as far as stretch bigs, is going to be up there. And I think a lot of the community is really going to like him. And who says that you can't run both Jabari Smith Jr. and John Collins both? Because I do think for no money spent, guys, that is going to be kind of a good power forward center duo, right? I'd run John Collins at power forward and Jabari Smith Jr. at that center position if you did get them both. Now, what does John Collins' release look like? That's something I'm not quite sure about as I'm recording this. So that's something tomorrow we'll have to see and kind of monitor. Now, let's talk about Chris Paul briefly before diving any further. Chris Paul is just small. His release isn't great. I'm sure his movement's going to be fine, and I'm sure defensively he's going to be okay as well, right? But my thing is, it's a bigger deal for Chris Paul. When you are small, when you can't dunk, and when you're not as good shooting-wise as a lot of people are hoping for, right? Shooting the ball is very important. And if Chris Paul had a cheesy release, I'd probably be decently high on him. The problem is he's short. He's not going to be that great defensively. He can't dunk, and his release is not cheesy. I just don't see what Chris Paul really brings to the table. I'm not saying you can't run him. I'm not saying that he's totally useless. I'm just saying, for me, if I'm no money spent, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The emerald we got today, right? And you guys might be like, Ty, who are you even talking about? The emerald we got today, and I'm gonna spend some time talking about him, I personally think is better, right? And that emerald is Matthew Dellavedova. You guys might think I'm crazy, but I'll take Matthew Dellavedova over Chris Paul. Now let's talk about the Sapphires. You get Marcus Smart as well as Jordan Poole. Now, I'm not sure, this is me, I'm not sure how good Marcus Smart is going to be in general. Who exactly really knows about that? The one thing I will say is Marcus Smart does have a smooth release. I've shot around with him. I do like his release this year. And with Marcus Smart, he's decently tall, and we know defensively he is going to be good. So that's why I'm actually probably going to be higher on Marcus Smart than anybody else. Again, we'll talk about Dillon Brooks here in a second. But that's why I do believe Marcus Smart might be the best player we get tomorrow. Like, out of every single guy, 5 guys, I'm higher on Marcus Smart heading into tomorrow than anybody else. Jordan Poole is going to be a point guard, going to obviously offensively be okay. Probably Jordan Poole is going to lie on the defensive end of the court. He's going to be 6'4", have decent height. I'd be surprised if they made Jordan Poole a point guard, though. Because if we look at Jordan Poole right here as his base card, you're probably going to see, right, if we look at Jordan Poole, shooting guard, small forward. And I'm expecting the same thing out of this Jordan Poole. I don't expect 2K to just all of a sudden now change things for really no need to, right? That's, again, just my opinion. I could be wrong come tomorrow, but I just expect him to be a shooting guard, small forward, and not be very great. Now, when it comes down to Dillon Brooks, I actually like Dillon Brooks, okay? And there's a variety of reasons I like Dillon Brooks. The thing I'm going to start with is he's 6'6" at the 2, so his positional size isn't bad, especially because he does have a wide player model player build. Now, is Dillon Brooks' release great? No, but it's not bad. And the one thing we know about Dillon Brooks is he normally plays pretty solid defense. That's what we know, okay? If you've ever used Dillon Brooks in my team, you know as well as I do, his defense is normally pretty stout. Now, because he's a Ruby, his badges are probably going to be pretty decent. And if you're balling on a budget and need a decent shooting guard, I think he is going to be a great guy to pick up for you guys. So far, Chris Paul, not super high on him. I think he's just too small of a point guard. John Collins, I think could be solid. The problem is, again, we've got like Jabari Smith Jr., who I think probably is going to be better than him. If you have the pro pass Giannis, I think he's going to be better than him. So it's all just about finding a spot for John Collins. And I think we need power forward centers and more than any other position. Problem for John Collins is I don't know exactly what his release is like, and I don't know exactly how good a 6'9" power forward center can be. I think he could be fine. We'll have to see, but I would not be surprised if he's not very good because of that release in my team. Now, Dillon Brooks, again, I like his size at the 2. I think he's going to be really, really good, and I think a lot of people are I don't want to say sleeping on Dillon Brooks, but not giving him the credit he deserves. 6'6", his defense is going to be elite. He's going to be able to knock down shots. Again, I'm going to be high on Dillon Brooks. Is he going to be a great, primary ball handler? Probably not, but how many of those guys do you need on the court anyways? Not many of them. I do think Marcus Smart is going to be the point guard that I've been looking for my no money spent for quite some time. I've been looking for a point guard to just hold it down. Again, on my no money spent, I don't have Kyrie Irving. I don't have Damian Lillard. I just need a budget guy that can go out there and compete. And I do think Marcus Smart is going to be able to do that for me. Now, again, for obviously Jordan Poole, if he can run the point guard position, maybe he'll give you something. But you're just looking at a defensive liability when it comes down to Jordan Poole. And look, this is me talking to you guys, but I can't stand when I have a card that's just a pure defensive liability on the court. That bugs me. It makes me really, really mad and upset when I do. So I would never, recommend that for you guys. So how I'd rank these cards heading into tomorrow, I'm going to go with Marcus Smart, number 1, Dillon Brooks, 2, John Collins, 3, Jordan Poole, 4, and Chris Paul, 5. Again, if you want to run Chris Paul, do what you got to do. I'm just saying he's going to have a slow release. And offensively, he's not going to be able to dunk. His 3 ball is not going to be cheesy. He's just going to leave a lot to be desired, in my opinion. Is this drop as good as last Tuesday's? I personally think probably not. But it's a decent drop. For free cards that are grindable, I think 2K could do a lot worse than this. Again, we'll see tomorrow when these cards actually are released, when these cards do come out. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at these 5 cards that did get introduced tomorrow. And I'm actually really, really excited to get the Marcus Smart, hopefully, on the No Money Spent Squad series come tomorrow. If you haven't watched No Money Spent, make sure to do so. Go catch up on that. That's going to wrap it up for our video, guys. Let me know which of these cards you guys are most excited about. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, man, I love you guys. And have a blessed day.